we'll get to that. So, when I was asked to share my story, I'm already going to cry. This is really bad. My husband's like, please don't. I had a hard time thinking of words that I could say that would adequately describe how coaching has changed our lives. And so I thought, I'm not going to just do words. I'm going to show you with pictures of the beginning of our story into where we are now. Okay? So, if I can figure out how to work this thing. Do I have to be like super close? Yes. Okay. I know a lot of people think as a coach, our job is to transform people's bodies. That's what we do, right? We give them meal plans and nutrition and exercise and Shakeology, and their bodies totally transform. Which, that's my hubby. Obviously it works. Maybe. And there's my transformation from Beachbody. And obviously that's what we do. But we also do so much more than that. Okay? And to tell you what we do, I want to start from the very beginning of my story. Okay? So, of course, like every love story, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a baby in a baby carriage, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Okay? So, it's great. That's what I've always wanted, to be a mom. And as those sweet babies came, our lives kind of changed direction. My husband went into aviation science to become a commercial pilot, which he did, get all of that done. But the day our first daughter was born, he's like, I don't want this. I don't want the schedule. I don't want to be gone for weeks at a time. We wanted our family to always be a priority. We wanted to be great memories. And that schedule was not conducive to that. So, he did the next thing that he wanted to do, which was to become a police officer. And while he loves his job, those two don't match up when you consider the debt that a pilot has. So, we were like, oh, this can be interesting, but we'll make it work because to us, our family is worth it. We will sacrifice not having money to have memories with our family. And as those babies came and life started to take over, I started to feel like I was drowning because those first 3 babies kicked my butt. Came super fast, and when I was overwhelmed and didn't feel good, I did what a lot of mothers do, and I disappeared, at least in the photo sense. These photos you've seen are among the few photos I have in an 8-year span. Because I didn't feel good. So I wanted to hide. Okay, I wanted to hide from life. I was so overwhelmed. The money thing was kicking my trash. I don't know if you guys have financial stress, but I swear it's the worst stress that exists. It non-stop, never leaves. So I have a few photos, and of course, if I did take photos, it looked like this. That's my first Instagram picture. Yes. You're so welcome. Oh, that's all you guys are going to think of when you think of me now. But as life continued to happen, we decided, we'll do whatever it takes. So I started doing odd and end jobs. And that cute little girl, the second from the right, is my niece. So we thought, we'll watch her. That helps my brother and sister-in-law. That gives us some extra income to make some bills. Still didn't really help much, okay? And while I love her, always will love her and the memories she has with my children and the memories we have with her, it was hard. It was very hard. I was already drowning as a mom, and to add in another kid was not really very fun, okay? I also did photography, and I have plenty of pictures that I cherish and will cherish forever of my children, but it sucked. It was exhausting. It took a ton of time. You know when you think like it's so easy to be a photographer, you just like take pictures, and there's so much you don't even know that goes on. It was not fun. It was time consuming, which I already felt like I didn't have. Remember, I had 4 kids and my niece, and I was just drowning. And this is where we found me. This was my life. We're gonna zoom in on that face. And if you can get past the hair and like look at my actual face. You guys, I look at this picture and you know those like moments where smells and sounds and pictures can like take you directly back to that moment? This picture is that for me. That was one of the darkest times of my life. On top of drowning, my marriage was on the verge of shattering. It was kind of the thing that tipped this all off. I had all the financial stress, all of the mom stress, and I remember telling my mom, this is all I ever wanted. I just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I didn't enjoy it. Like, this was my dream, and I didn't even like it. And I was drowning. Financial stuff, once again, was ruining our lives. My parents actually were paying several $100s a month for us to just survive. We weren't even surviving. I was really good at bouncing bills around. Which ones we could pay late just before the 30-day thing, before your credit gets dinged. We did that, okay? And this story I'm gonna tell you that has to do with like what really pushed me over the edge was this month, January of 2015. My 9-month-old son was starting to drink a very special kind of milk. It's not very cheap. And he ran out. And kids gotta eat. So I was like, we've got to go buy this milk. It was about $10. And I remember thinking, I don't know if we can make it to payday if I buy his milk. But he's got to eat. So I loaded up the kids in our van, and I drove to the store. Do you guys remember how my husband's a police officer? Well, this is not the most ironic thing ever. We were so broke we couldn't register our car. So I'm breaking the law every day with my husband. And I got pulled over on the way to the store. And I was praying, like, that's all he pulled me over for. So I was like, surely I'll get a warning. I got a ticket. And I remember just crying. I was so upset I didn't even go to the store and buy milk. I just went home. And my kids were like, are you okay? Like, why are you crying? Like, they know police officers are good. It's not a big deal. And I remember thinking, I went for $10 milk. And I came home with a $200 bill. $40 for a air ticket. And you had 10 days to register your car. I had no idea what we were going to do. So, of course, I called my mom. And, of course, she bailed us out again. And I remember thinking, I am done. I am so done living this life. Because this is not what a life should look like. So I messaged my coach. P.S. never liked, commented, but definitely didn't message her because I didn't want her spamming me to join her team. So I messaged her out of nowhere and I said, I think I want to do this coaching meeting. And she's like, okay. Got me into a sneak peek. I remember it was 3 days long and I was like, oh my gosh, like I just want to do this. Like, let's do this. Remember how I still didn't have money. So mom bailed me out again, bought my first challenge pack. And within 1 week, I was able to pay her back. 1 week. I was able to pay the cost to start up this business. So, when I started coaching, I jumped all in. Seriously, like, very bottom, you got nowhere to go but up. And I was like, do you know what? The first start of this is I need to feel good about myself, and I feel like poop. It's damaging my relationship. I'm non-existent from pictures. And I'm clearly, like, short-tempered always anyway. But you add in that, and I was, like, just bitter and negative, and very impatient with everything in my life. So I jumped all in. And these were my results in 21 days from 21 Day Fix. So, thank you. I should have zoomed in so you could see the difference in my face. You can probably see it. In 3 weeks, I felt like a whole new person. And we were shocked at how much better life was just from taking care of ourselves. But in that time, I was already starting to help people. And we're like, holy crap, paid back the cost of our challenge. But on top of that, in my first month, we were able to pay our car payment and our utility bill, which was needed because I forgot to tell you a huge part of that story. When life took a crap, that sounds so bad, I quit watching my niece. I couldn't take the pressure of my marriage falling apart, so something had to give. So I quit watching my niece, but that was $500 a month that we now had to make up. And I remember thinking, that was really dumb. I have no idea what we're gonna do, but I had to relieve pressure from somewhere. So I traded financial stress for a different kind of stress. So when our first month we were able to make it work, we were like, dude, this is the first month. I had honestly no idea the potential of this coaching business. So, our first month we started watching all the videos, Mindy Wender's $20,000 week and Lindsay Matway's huge transformation story of her life. And I remember my husband turning to me and he's like, if she can do it, why can't you? And first I was like, well, she's a Barbie doll. So, I mean, that must be it. You've got to be a Barbie doll. But I saw a lot of other coaches. So we decided, what if we could, seriously make something of this? And we started to dream about moments what if we could pay off our car? What if someday we could get the truck of our dreams? What if we could have $1,000 a month? That's double. That's like working my nannying job twice without having a nanny. But what if we could have $1,000 a week? Oh my gosh, can you imagine $1,000 a week? $1,000 a week. And that happened about 8 months into the business for me. And that was one of my favorite memories because I was able to go and buy my husband a gun he had wanted for 6 years. May not seem like a big deal, but honestly, is it really fun buying your spouse a gift with hey honey, I bought you this gift with the money that you earned from your job? I wrapped it for you. So, that's cool. I paid for that. And he had no clue. One of my favorite memories. What if we could buy, things you want and have wanted for years, like Apple computers? Let's be honest, Apple rules. Okay? What if we could actually go on a vacation for the first time in our lives and pay cash for it? And what if on these cash-paid vacations, we could pay for extra things? Because we can. I think his face tells you how he feels about the extra things. Okay? So, one of the first things we did when we started working in business, besides dreaming, was we made our relationship a top priority because that was what was suffering the most. One of the first things we decided was we were going to work out together every single day. That became our date time. Remember, we had no money for a babysitter. This was a time we could actually work out together, which, P.S., there is scientific evidence of how it improves your relationship. We didn't know that. We just figured he likes to work out, I don't. Ironic, because I'm the coach. But we're going to make it our date time every day. And it transformed our relationship. One of the other things we said we were going to do is we were going to go on one overnight trip per quarter. Remember, we couldn't even afford a babysitter at this point, but we were going on an overnight trip every single quarter by ourselves. For 8 years, we didn't have a single night away from our children. Love you guys. But sometimes mom and dads need time to just be moms and dads as lovers, not as moms and dads. So we got away. What's awesome, though, is we got to go to places we've never been before. Got to get all dressed up fancy, which every girl wants to do. Guys, probably not so much. But girls, it's fun to think of getting dressed up fancy. We got to hang out with some pretty cool people. We got to go to places on our bucket list that we honestly never thought would happen. And all of this, these were quarterly Beachbody events, essentially. And I also got to buy him Rock Revival jeans. If you don't like them, it's okay, but I do. And he clearly loves when I make him pose for pictures. The quality of the people I surrounded myself with. So my relationship with my husband was the only thing that improved. The people I surrounded myself with daily. They say you're like the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, I spent my most time with 2 feet tall people. Which is great, but it doesn't really do much for your mindset and expanding and growing. And the people I spent time with now challenged me. They pushed me. They became some of my best friends, which is something I didn't have before. Remember, I was bitter, negative. You don't really have a lot of friends when you're that way. They became my support system and what I would turn to when life got hard. So instead of calling my mom every day, which I'm so sure she appreciates now, which I pretty much called her every day when life sucked because I needed to vent. But when you take care of yourself and you surround yourself with positive people, those vent sessions get a lot less. And I had a huge support network of girls. I graduated high school early because girls aren't fun. But this business has shown me otherwise, because when you're all doing something to become better and to become more, it's different. But something I didn't expect was to be able to do it with my sister. I got to surprise her for her 25th birthday and take her on a cruise to the Bahamas. That was her. She was like, yes, it was awesome. We got to go to a place that we'd never been before. This was my first incentive trip, and I got to take my sister. My very favorite thing, though, is the memories that we've made, because memories make up your entire life. Everything in your life is a small moment. And those small moments make up the big picture. And if those small moments suck, your life is going to suck. And so the memories that we've been able to make are, like, I had to, like, really condense, you guys. It was really hard for me to pick what to share. Because I had hardly any pictures for 8 years. And looking back, I'm like, holy crap, I don't even recognize myself. The memories we've been able to make are insane. Like this one. Like when your son's absolutely obsessed with Spider-Man and you get to buy that costume on a whim because you can afford the costume. And he's clearly surprised that he is Spider-Man. Whoa! I had no idea that was me. Or when I got to go to Nashville for the first time, my first flight alone, I thought I was going to die. My husband reassured me, remember, commercial pilot, planes don't just crash, you'll be okay. But I got to go and meet my coach for the first time in real life, you guys. I didn't know her in real life before. And I didn't know how much that relationship was going to completely transform my life. So that was a big moment for me. But this one right here, that's my grandma. We got to make an impromptu trip, which we couldn't do before because you can't buy gas if you don't have any money. That was on my birthday. She died 8 days later. When we dreamed, we wanted space for our kids. We wanted them to be able to have a yard and land to run around on. We were able to get that. This one I just had to throw in there because it's not every day that you get to do a pyro flip on the Jamaican beach. Oh, hey, it's Tony again. We ran into him on the cruise. Of course, he was just hanging out, helping other people. And we were doing 22-minute hardcore, of course, and he sat there and like encouraged us the whole time. It was so cool to see how real he is, and you guys obviously will see that and have already seen that. But that was a big moment. Like, he started this whole thing with P90X and my husband. My husband used the products way before I did, which is why we chose this, because we knew it worked. Or like when your coach says, hey, I'm going to Vegas this weekend, do you want to come? Yes, please. So we had a kid trip. Or when you buy a new house and you actually want to buy furniture, like to pay cash for that. No credit card, no monthly payments to remind you that you have no money and you bought furniture that you had no money with. Or when we got to go to Summit for the first time with my team. Or when we went on an extended family vacation and we were able to pay for 4 of the families to go for a week. This was a year and a half into the business. We couldn't even afford to go on our own vacations. Or when my kids really wanted to throw that neighborhood party and you were able to actually go to the store and buy the stuff to make their costumes. This is a huge one. This is our current home. A year before we got this home, my husband got a job opportunity out of state. It was close to family, had long-term benefits that were better. So we took it. And it was terrible. And we decided, this is so not worth it. Because something that this business has taught us is that if you don't love it, you shouldn't be doing it. And life is too short to hate what you have to do every single day for like the rest of your life. So, in a matter of weeks, we sold that beautiful backyard that I just showed you. We sold it and we moved. And I was devastated because I love my husband to be happy with his job, but I really wanted to be happy at home. And I wanted to have land for my kids. We were spoiled with that. This house came up and it had everything we wanted. It was closer to my husband's work than we've ever been. And it had the land that we wanted. And we didn't have to say no because it costs more. We were able to get what we wanted. We didn't have to pay, or we didn't have to pass that because of the increase in pay. Or like 2 days after you move into that house, you go on a cruise with your coach, and you guys are so desperately tired that you got no shame and you squeeze onto a king bed and take a 4-hour nap. We got to go snorkeling in my favorite place on earth, which is the Blue Lagoon in the Bahamas. I've yet to find, Bora Bora will be that, and I will be going to Bora Bora someday, mark my words. But as of right now, that's my favorite place on earth, and I got to experience it with some of my favorite people. Or like we got to go meet the real Santa. It's not very often we get to meet the real Santa. And we got to take pictures with the real Santa and my kids. We got to buy a dog I'd been wanting for years. This is another favorite memory of mine because of my friends that I've made on social media. I posted one day, I said, I need help. My husband absolutely idolizes Ty Detmer. Like, if he had a hero, this is who he is. And I would be like the best wife ever if I could figure out how we could make them meet. And it was arranged, and the next day we met Ty Detmer. I am the best wife ever. I will never top that Father's Day gift, though. Oh my crap, what am I going to do next year? Nothing, I'm just going to pull up that picture. Remember? Yeah. Or like our second year as a team at Summit. Lots of new faces, lots of new friendships. Or like when you get to go on impromptu trips with your coach. Once again, she calls. Like, we're very on the fly. Hey, we're going to go in like a week and a half. Do you guys want to come? Yes, please. Have you guys noticed how many of these things are impromptu, on the fly? That's because it requires flexibility and an income, which we didn't have before. So a lot of our memories, these are all a result of coaching. But what I love most is what it's done for our family. The memories we've created, while those big memories are awesome, it's the day-to-day things that it's completely changed our lives. Like the fact that we actually take family pictures now. So A, we can afford it, and B, I don't hide behind it. I think we took family pictures twice in 1 year, which is like unheard of. My oldest daughter, for years, we struggled with knowing how to exactly help her. And there's nothing more devastating than feeling like as a mom you can't help your child. We didn't have the funds to do what she needed. And for the first time ever, we were able to help her with something that helps her brain, helps her to be happy. We paid cash. Or like when we go on our overnight trips, my kids get to stay with grandma and grandpa as an extended family and have memories with them. They get to make new friends. These friends are all from coaches. My kids have friends because of coaching. Friends whose parents think like us, that you can have whatever you want in this life as long as you work hard for it. So they have all these memories. We're able to go to places we've never been before. I want my children to see the world, not through a textbook. I want them to physically see the world. And we're able to do this because of flexibility. This is an on-the-fly trip. Once again, my sister called me, and 3 days later we were in Lake Powell. I'd never been before, and I got to take my kids with me. We got to hire a homeschool helper. Yes, we're those crazy people that homeschool. It's okay. But it works really well for our family. We really like the flexibility because of my husband's odd schedule. Remember how he quit being a pilot so that he could have memories with his kids? That requires a flexible schedule. So we were able to hire a homeschool helper. She loves my kids, she guides my kids, and she deep cleans my house. I have not scrubbed a toilet in a long time. It's so nice. Seeing my children do things they've never done before. Like that smile is one of my favorite smiles, and it doesn't happen all the time. And so when I can witness that with my own eyes because I'm with my children, it's like everything to me. They work out with me. They know that health is done at home. They eat with us, they work out with us, they tell us to not stop when we are dying. But most of all, they see us. They see us taking care of us. They see us taking care of our bodies. They see us taking care of our relationship. Because kids need a mom and dad that love each other. They need a mom and dad that spend time together, that show kids it takes work, but you're happier when you take care of yourselves and when you do it together. So yes, we do transform bodies. But we do way more than that. We completely transform lives. And every single one of you guys can have that. You just have to decide. That's it. Just decide. I want you guys to have these memories. I'm nothing special. Like Doug said, everybody who's successful in this business, they're normal people. But we simply flipped the switch and we made a decision that we weren't going back, because I can tell you right now, I'm never going back to that before photo. So make the decision and change your life.